1.
All right, producer show. We are back live. Of course, we will be recapping. Just so you know, Justin, we'll be recapping episode 14.
Yes, we were on that.
We were so. It was just a complete guess, to be honest with you. I had no idea. I had no idea we've watched that many episodes, to be completely honest with you. But episode 14 last night was video skipping. I got to stop paying attention to the chat. We'll get to the chat in a second. Dave, Keegs played a good game. Cully, as I say, I'm not going to pay attention to the cut. I didn't think she played a bad game. I'm sorry. We'll get into all the details. So hang on for a second, chat. Just hang on. I got to ask Justin quickly. Diet day 3. I feel like this is where it gets bad. This is why I want to bring this up first, and then we'll get into everyone in the chat. You can put your surviving comments or whatever. I feel like and you haven't shown this to me, so this isn't. I'm not calling you out right now. This morning you've been a gentleman, normal conversation. Everything is normal. But I have a feeling like internally you have to be struggling. Day 3 is usually a bad day, I think.
Oh, it's tough. Yesterday was tough.
Yeah.
Yesterday, so when I got home, I ate another factor meal. The factor meals are great. And they are a decent size.
Do you do the breakfast like first thing in the morning? Like, do you do the breakfast or no? Do you wait till you get home after the show or to eat?
No, I do the breakfast.
Okay.
It's like a couple eggs and then it's some like peppers and stuff.
Yep.
But like the thing is like these are like normal size meals.
Yep.
You got to remember, I probably haven't gone on 3 normal size meals a day.
Been a bit
since I was in early high school.
Yep.
Okay. You know? I'm just talking about like I'm talking about like no snacking. No, I'm probably fuck it. Let's go back to like elementary school. I'm talking about like no snacking.
Yep.
No like extra meals, no Chinese food, just picking it up. No McDonald's picking it up. Like normally like driving home from here, I'd swing by McDonald's or Burger King or something, and that would be kind of like a meal in between meals.
Yep.
You know, to kind of keep me going.
Yes.
Second breakfast, some might call it. But it was tough yesterday. So I've also been going to the gym, as I told you. So I did a 5K yesterday. Like a 5.5K. I was on the treadmill.
Oh shit! Good for you.
For like for like an hour. It was fine. And then when I got home, I was just like, my stomach just felt like it wasn't like a throw up. It was like a feed me,
right? Like
sort of thing.
What time? So they always say like don't eat past 8 o'clock. Like, was your meal at 6 or your last meal?
No, my meals yesterday were in the morning. I had the breakfast thing.
Okay.
Then when I got home around like 4, I ate. And then I went to the gym.
Yep.
Then I ate probably another one around like 7 or 8.
Okay. All right.
It was like while I was watching Surviving.
So you probably need to find like the in-between snack that's healthy.
Yeah, they do have.
Because 3 meals is tough. Like that's not.
You don't got to tell me.
But let's also not say like are they good portions of like the protein is a good portion, right?
Yeah, the meals are like 600 calories.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's gonna take adjustment. Because I just feel like that's why I wanted to ask you about it first, because I just feel like getting into the one day you're kind of like mentally you got to get through it. It is what it is. Second day I think you feel okay. It's when you start trying to get into that like normal. I have to do this long-term territory. Usually hits day 3. At least it's hit that way for me.
Yep.
And I get bored and then go back to fucking candy or whatever. But
candy. I was thinking about candy last night.
I just think
I never crave candy. Normally I would crave like ribs or something, but I was craving. I saw this advertisement for like those like mini like gummy like Coke bottle things.
Mini gummy. I mean, it's just gummy bears shaped as Coke bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, man.
Those are good.
I could have.
Do they taste like Coke? I don't even.
No, but they taste good.
My thing is like, did you see in the news that the FDA just banned that like dye that's in all the candy
3 or something?
And they're basically saying it's tied to cancer. Like, I must have consumed like hundreds of pounds of Skittles in my life.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's all. That's my like thing right now is just like the amount of sugar I've consumed. Like, how do I rid my body of that? But I always. This is not motivation for you. I try to get rid of the candy. I last like 5 days. When the weekend hits, I'm fucked. So that's like the only thing I really care about getting rid of.
Yeah, we'll see. And also, I'm thinking about like people said like should I have a cheat meal on Sunday or do I just like fight through it?
I think you need. I don't know. I hear people say you need that. That's not really my style. I'm just kind of like I know. I'm not a foodie though either, so maybe that's why. But like I just need to like become a robot basically. Like here's what I need to do every single day and just fucking do it.
Well, that's the thing. I think I just like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to fucking do it. Because if I'm going to do it for 2 months, I'm going to fucking do it for 2 months. Because if I do it for 2 months, but I have cheat meals, because I know like I've had cheat meals before. a cheat meal on Sunday turns into a cheat meal on Tuesday, turns into a cheat meal on
Do you
Thursday.
get enough food, or do you have to just keep ordering it? By the way, Factor, where are you? Okay, let's get on this, Factor. I mean, Factor has been with the show before. Obviously, Kirk mentioned it was with Surviving. You get 18 at a time.
Yeah, I got.
If you're gonna follow through with this, you need way more than that.
I get. I got 18 like meals, and then I also got like breakfast meals as well, as a supplement. So I think I have like 22 actual things that I get every Monday.
Right.
Let's say.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll see how that is. But
all right, let's get into Surviving. I did see the comment in the chat. There's plenty of Survive. Actually, it's really, to be honest with you, it's really just like the Kirk Minifan Show Network. What do they call it? They call it Minifan Network now.
Minifan Network.
Minifan Network back. They're the only ones like truly, I feel like, recapping Surviving. I don't see too much like there's not like a Barstool Sports product that's recapping Surviving, right?
No, Tommy Smokes does his thing.
Oh, he does his TikTok video.
Yes.
Yeah, right. He does his TikTok video. Not going to lie, Justin and Dave are easier. I don't need to read. That's not nice to say.
What was it?
They were just talking shit. So it's not a nice thing to say. I don't want to read it anymore. Where was I? Surviving episode 14. It's getting to that point. Last night was one of the more frustrating things I've probably ever watched, to be completely honest with you. Like, maybe it's worse because the series started off on such a high. It's well produced. I get what's going on. It's clearly more of like a talent thing. Like right out the gate, the Rhea thing about like it's a man's game, like chirping I wanted to fucking throw anything at my TV at that moment. My wife wanted to throw anything at that. Yesterday was an episode all about frustration. It was just a frustrating top to bottom thing to watch.
Well, because I think the like element of surprise has kind of been taken out.
Right.
Like, that like going into it, it was either going to be Rico or Megan. And because it seems like Dave and Rhea won't vote for each other. Yep. Like they have a lock. Like Rhea's telling Dave, like, hey, the house wants me to vote you out. I'm not going to. They're not going to vote each other out.
Right.
It seems like Movie's just along for the ride. And then like
sure is.
Megan is probably on the way. So I thought it was interesting, not to skip ahead here. But it's interesting how I think they explained how they're doing this last elimination.
Yep.
I think it has nothing to, they're not voting for the final person to get out.
Okay.
The person.
Explain it again because I'm blanking on what.
So I could have this completely wrong, but from how Jeff explained it last night is, so Rico goes home yesterday. Yeah. It was the last time Rhea could have used her immunity.
By the way, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world for Portnoy to give his immunity over to Rico in that spot for the show.
Yeah, but what was I saying? So Rico goes home.
Yep.
4 remaining left: Dave, Rhea, Movie, and Megan making money.
Yes.
So there's one challenge left. The winner of that gets immunity, and I believe he also said they get to choose one person to go with them.
Right. Yes.
And then the final 2 will face off in a duel of some sorts where the loser goes home.
Goes home. Yes. What do you think about that? That's right.
It's interesting. I thought it was just like a normal vote.
I think we like that better, right? That's the only way that it can get spiced up, because if it wasn't, obviously Megan
would have to win in order for someone to get voted.
Would have to win. You were correct. Yeah.
But now it's like, I think if Dave or Rhea wins, I think they will bring along the other person.
Right.
So if Dave wins, he's going to bring along Rhea. It's going to be Moves versus Megan.
Yes.
Rhea wins, Moves versus Megan.
I'll ask you this question as we continue to go over episode 14, but I'll ask you the question and I'll ask the chat if you guys want to answer. Maybe one is Rhea, 2 is Megan making money. Who was more insufferable to watch last night? 1 being Rhea, 2 being Megan making money. Megan making money just like paranoid the entire episode.
I hated it when she was like yelling at the producer, when she was like listening under the cracks, and he was like, you can't do that. And she was like, why can't I do that? Fuck you.
Complete madness.
It was like, I get it. Like she's in like, that's an actual state of panic.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, I don't think she actually like hated that producer or anything like that. But I could see being like, okay, well, we can't fucking have like wiretap. Like,
wow, that poll question, the 1s and 2s works. That's just filling up right there. We're just working that algorithm with that one. We just mind fucked you there. Yes, keep going. Sorry.
So I can understand why she was so panicky. But yeah, Rhea at the beginning where she was like, it's between me and you. Like,
man's
I think
game. I don't know, something about that.
In Rhea's head, she already won, which I think is like dangerous to think.
Right.
I think she thinks that if she brings along Mooby and Dave, people are going to vote for her because, like Kelly said when she got eliminated and she went back to the house, well, you guys aren't going to vote for Dave. And Clemmer said, I don't know about that.
Yep.
Because if people think Dave played the best game, they're going to vote for Dave.
Right.
Like,
which, by the way, is now the outcome I want. I think I want Dave to win this game now.
I think so too.
Because I don't want anybody else to win the game.
I think so. I don't know if he's going to win, but I think it would probably be. I think I'd be.
It's crazy. It's crazy we got to that point, but that's and obviously Rhea's played a good game, but she's also like skated through too.
Rhea's played a good game, but I think she also thinks she's like been the mastermind of everything. Right. When in reality, I think Dave has been the mastermind.
Yes. Dave's line yesterday was pretty funny about like when Rhea was in Rico's face at Tribal or whatever, and then he was like, "Rio's my what did he say? Rico's my dog or whatever." Like
Rico's my dog. I can mess with him. No one else
messes with him, but I don't like when other people do or whatever. That was funny. That was a funny line. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the game specifically in this episode, I liked that game.
Yes, it was
Rico.
Fair.
Fuck, was Rico all over that?
Oh, he was.
Holy shit.
He was close.
He hit that thing at least 10 times. It felt like. Dave won that challenge. You guys obviously saw. Quidditch Guy says Rhea has zero self-awareness. So
yeah, I think she thinks like I think she thinks she won.
Yeah,
like already. Like as soon as she did not play the idol in the Kelly Keegs vote out, she was like, I won because if I played it, then people maybe would have gotten me out the next time.
Right.
She's getting her out.
That fucking Will, like, I can't get out of my head, because obviously they replayed it last night, that Will Compton text.
How much of a nothing burger
It's fucking nothing. We said this yesterday. It means fucking nothing. Take that information however you want, but it certainly shouldn't force you to, undergo that type of stress.
I feel like
mentally
everyone in that house has texted someone that was still in the game, like, hey, get this person out or do this.
I'm sure.
It wasn't like a one-time thing.
And for her to be like Keegs, who just got voted out, by the way, like, go tell them to how did she word it? Like, go tell them to stop fucking around with me. And Keegs is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Stop fucking with my mental.
Yeah, those guys are like, fucking toast when I get there.
But it was also like a big nothing burger when she came back. Like she didn't come back and like fiery and like stand up. But
she was like, I have shit with you. And then Will lied to her, right?
Will said he never texted.
He never texted her.
She's like, good on Will.
Right.
Will's still playing the game. Champion of the game.
Right. KB says Will Compton was right. Yeah, I see no issue whatsoever with it. Rhea was,
but also like he was trying to help her. He said like if she turned and voted Dave out right there,
right? It's inside information of the house.
The house would have been like, oh fuck,
right?
Rhea like is a savage.
Wants to win this game, 100%. 100%. So yeah, that was, I don't know, any other, because we don't need to spend the entire time recapping the episode, but I'm trying to think of any other key takeaways from last night.
We didn't see the loser house for the first like 30 minutes.
Right.
And I was like, wonder what's going on there.
Yep.
Wonder what's going. We didn't see too much of.
Not until really Keegs got there, right?
Yeah, we didn't see too much Kirk either this episode.
No.
Feel like
I just know he was outside with the Keegs crew. He was not inside with Dan Katz.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw some of that. And then like everybody was like dialed in talking about the game, and then Dan was like talking about gambling. I saw one of them. I remember
he's like,
one of them.
Fuck, I have the Badgers plus 14.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it was meaningless. But I'm trying to think of other moments that infuriated me, because I feel like the entire hour I was just watching that and just being like, what the fuck is going on? Like Megan making money. I don't know what happened. I think I'm not saying she played a great game, but she wasn't like insanely unlikable early in the series. And then last night was just, I mean, like patting, I guess it's a game and it's down to her and Rico. You got to follow Rico everywhere. Like when Rico found the key.
Yep.
And I thought he wasn't going to, like, great masterful editing. Rico obviously had it the entire time, but like, I thought all of a sudden like she was going to fucking grab it somehow. Like it was like building this anticipation of anger. Like if she's stalking him and then she gets it, I was going to be furious. Like it was, I don't know. I was annoyed with it, but also I get why she felt like she had to follow him at the same time and like pat him down when he claimed he had an idol.
I would. You can't.
Why? I mean,
no one's patting me down.
Well, you would have to be like, get out of here, which is fine. But I'm just saying, like, you can understand her trying to do that. You can try to stop her from doing it, but I'm saying from her perspective, she needs to know. I thought like Dave, do you think Dave thought he really did have the idol, or do you think Dave was playing it?
I think he legitimately thought he had the idol.
Or, I mean, it didn't hurt Dave to pretend like he
wanted
had
to
the
keep
idol.
Rico in.
Correct. That's a good point. Like I said, the editing, like you're down to the moment, didn't know whether or not Rico really had that idol, which was, infuriating when he ended up not having it. But let's see, is the chat. Let's see. Adam in Jersey, your friend here. Kirk ruined Big Cat by saying he's from Newton. It's mind-boggling how much Kirk killed Big Cat with it. We'll get into that in 2 seconds. We'll see if we'll wrap up Surviving, because Big Cat's blog was, I'll give you my take on the blog in a second. But David in Maryland, Cullinane wants Andrea Canning to pat him down like I think it means MMS did to Rico, like Megan Making Money. I think did to Rico. I wouldn't mind it. We hit
Megan
it off.
making sandwiches, I believe.
Oh, Megan making sandwiches. Good job. Good point. So any other final takeaways? 14. Last episode tonight.
Curious to see what happens. Prediction for the final 3, and who do you think wins it?
I'm going to say that Rhea still pulls it off and wins.
She wins the entire thing?
Dave will be in the final 3, and Moobs will be in the final 3. So it's predictable. Megan Making Money will be out. She will not win the championship. Megan Making Sandwiches, whatever.
I think Mooby will be out, but I think it's because either Rhea or Dave wins immunity.
Okay.
They bring each other, and then it's between Mooby and Megan Making Money.
Right.
In the duel, and I think Megan Making Money has shown that she's better at like challenges than Mooby is.
Oh, fair.
So I think I think she'll tag along that way, and I think the winner will be, I don't know if it's going to be Rhea or Dave. I think in
if Dave won, that'd be crazy.
I think in Dave's mind, him making it to the final 3 is as good as him winning.
Yes.
Because in his mind, he would say like,
I think in Dave's mind,
he's already won.
The house in like him being in Will Compton's head and all these people, like he's already.
Yes, he already.
That's why I thought like he might, because it really did seem genuine that he wanted Rico to win this thing, right?
Yes.
So why wouldn't, if he has immunity, why wouldn't he consider in that spot giving immunity to Rico, returning the favor?
Yeah.
Do you think the girls would have ever voted him out? No fucking shot.
I don't think. I just.
Well, I get maybe they band together after. The fact that he gave his immunity away or something.
Maybe, but so I think it's probably between.
How did the text fuck over Rico? Dave was saying that, like, this is your fault, Will. The text. Did you hear him imply that?
Yes.
I didn't pick up on that, but I'm an idiot.
Will to Rhea?
Yes. How does that fuck Rico?
I don't know how it fucks anyone.
Yeah.
Because it was
definitely not Rhea. I don't understand that aspect, but I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat could let us know. I don't know.
If anything, it would fuck over Dave, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're past the voting stage now, so.
Right. All right, let's talk about it.
So anyway, my final prediction, Dave wins.
Dave wins is your prediction. Wow.
Dave wins.
All right, there we go. Last episode tonight, 8:00. All of it's tonight, right? The finale.
Yep, 8:00,
everything.
followed by the reunion.
Yep.
And then followed by on the Minifan Network.
Yes.
Cinema Lords, Mick, those guys are doing a recap.
Right. So make sure you watch the show and then go watch the recap. Of course, Kirk will be here in this studio tomorrow to recap as well. So watch all that stuff. Dave used it as an excuse to boot Rico. That seems to me like we don't really know that answer anyway, too. Like, we don't know how the text hurt. If it's just an excuse, that's fine. But he made it seem like there was like a strategy behind that. Whatever. It's not a big deal. All right. Big Cat's blog. So I don't have too many thoughts about it. One, the fact that he felt like he had to write it. I don't know. The way he's handled this thing is like, to me, it's madness. Like, it's crazy the way he's handled the whole thing. The problem I really had with the blog was that like there was like no humor attached to it. It was just like, this is me. This is who I am. This is why I did what I did. And it's just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck cares? Like, can't you have a little fun with it? Can't you laugh at it a little bit? I don't know.
So I think so I read the blog.
Yeah.
I'd never read his blogs like back in the day. I was never like a blog reader of anyone.
Yep.
So apparently there was a lot of like, he had like an old hockey like trick up his sleeve. Like that was like a staple of his blogs back in the day. So it's kind of like a shout out like, hey, I'm still like the old Big Cat everyone knows and loves.
Okay.
But it read like it was at like gunpoint and him like coming out.
Well, because he basically was. Like, I mean, first of all, he has himself at gunpoint. Like the way he's handled it, he's like clearly he's like nonstop talking about it, nonstop getting texts about it. He was on that Chicago radio show again yesterday.
Yep.
And he even uttered things like me and my wife talking about it at night. So it's clearly like consuming his brain. He had to get some of this shit off his chest. Clearly, he chose blog form. I just feel like he's done it in such a very serious way.
He's done it in like steps. Like he it comes out on Surviving where Kirk says, little Danny Katz from Newton, Massachusetts.
Yep.
He doesn't address it until he goes on the Yak in PMT. He addresses it there, and then he addresses it once again in a blog. I feel like the blog would come first. Well, no, he first addresses it on Pick'em. He first addresses it on Pick'em real quick. So like, I hate Kirk. Kirk hates me. We'll hate each other for forever. Then he addresses it on the Yak.
Yeah, but I also feel like he's just, or like the first time he puts a camera in front of himself, address it and just be like, fuck you, this is what happened. Like, this is just what I did. It was stupid, but it's what I did. Fuck you. I don't really care what you feel about me anyway.
Yeah, no,
like,
but
this is who I am. I am a Chicago sports fan. If you don't believe me, pound say it.
I think this is like Kirk said.
I think it was legit nerves that it would impact him.
Yes, like, he said he was like losing weight because like he hasn't been eating.
Right.
And so like I think this is like a very real. He said it was like it's the like worst he's ever felt in like his 13 years at the company.
That's crazy.
So it's like wild.
Right.
But I think Kirk is going to end up being right. Where he said it with Clemmer, he's like, this is now like a burden off of his.
Yes.
Now he no longer needs to, someone brings it up. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It kind of felt that way yesterday. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow. If you go, ESPN radio in Chicago had him on after some of that sound that we played the other day, which was, they were being funny about it and they weren't taking it that serious, but they also still were like mocking all of it and being like, how the fuck did you let this happen type of thing. He answered their questions. He felt comfortable. So I feel like he's kind of past that last, I don't know, but also all of a sudden I'll see these like tweets from him that people are picking back up on. And it's kind of like, did he have other lies and are those other lies going to come back up?
That's a good point by Mikey Grabags. Rovell did pop the balloon.
Rovell popped the balloon. And then who was it? Dove Kleiman?
Yeah. Who's just like a
aggregator.
Yeah,
he sold his account too, didn't he?
I think he
or was trying to.
But it was for like some crazy amount.
Yeah, yeah. The Ravel thing, it was pretty much dead from like the internet talking about it. And by the way, like nobody's like written articles about it or anything. Like it's not like in the New York Post or anything like that. It's literally like an internet, discussion. And Ravel definitely brought it back. So, all right. Anything else about that blog? You want to move on to the Keegs blog?
We can move on.
Yeah, the Keegs blog. She wrote a blog basically like, I guess basically just saying this has been the worst year of her life. I mean, I feel bad laughing about that. I feel bad for her. I don't know. I guess she gets a lot of internet hate. Kind of comes with everybody on the internet. The territory when you're doing content like that. But she just wrote a blog and then I think talked about I'm trying to remember like everything she wrote, but kind of like the anxiety around now she's getting even more hate because of the way she played Surviving Barstool, which I think I even said yesterday. I'm not saying she was the best player, but like, how do you get, I think it's just consistent hate throughout the year probably for her. I don't think Surviving Barstool did anything to add to that.
I can't remember a certain time where it was like, fuck Kelly during Surviving Bar, but I'm sure there was like some Kelly played like shit as there has been with everyone. But
she didn't like fuck anybody over to like piss off the internet or do anything shady or whatever.
The person I think you could say she fucked over was Kirk, but also like, I don't think that was like a big, like, I don't think, Kirk was ironclad or anything like that.
Kirk gave her the fall yesterday, right?
Yes. So she said, her everything's back together.
Yes.
What was I going to say about Kelly with Surviving? Fuck, I literally just had a point.
Yeah, I just don't know. I guess my point with her blog was like, I don't know why Surviving Barstool or even the commentary around it would have brought that out.
Here's my point. I believe it was in October or November of 2024. I think it was Jeff Lowe said, Sacco broke everyone.
Yes.
Sacco, the producer search, it just broke everyone's brains. I think Surviving Barstool is the equivalent of that Sacco.
Well, it's not going to break anybody. It didn't break everybody, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think Surviving Barstool has broken people that we didn't even like know were on the verge of being broken.
Right.
Like I didn't know Big Cat was on the verge of being broke. Rhea's crying her ass off. You know, I didn't know she was like Kelly freaking out.
Right.
Rico, mind blown between Kirk and Dave. He's out of the game now.
Yep.
It just broke everyone.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't know if she needed to like write a blog about that to explain that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess it just felt like a blog where she needed to vent, like almost like a journal entry. She needed to just complain about all the hate she's getting and hope that people read it and it turns around, that now she stops getting hate. Do you know what I mean? Because she was open about how much it affects her, I guess. But
I was thinking who on the cast, if asked to come back, would say no
for next season.
Yeah,
she said that in the blog, that right now she would say no unless Dave specifically asked her. Which, why would he do that? Like, but asked her like to be a part.
Like, I know Kirk is a definite yes. Like, from what he said, he's going to like force himself on it, which he should. I mean, he's been like love him or hate him on the show. He's been like a main factor
definitely
in the 2 seasons he's been a part of.
100%.
And there has been a drop off after he left. I understand that's the game. You can't keep someone in the game because they're more of a factor.
Yep.
But
by the way, do you think that Big Cat absolutely has to go back in next year?
I think he should. I think he will come in with probably like an attitude of like, I'm not fucking like he would just, I don't know how, I think he would play more like he played last season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has to, first of all, he has to do it, 1. And then 2, he has to somehow, even though he probably won't play in a real way, he has to somehow convince people he is. Do you know what I mean?
But like, if you were to ask him, like, you don't have, like, if there was no stakes on the table, you don't have to do it, or you can do it. It doesn't matter to him. The world will be the exact same. I think he'd probably say no. I mean, he said it's just caused like the most stress he's had at the company. So
100%.
Why would he want to do it?
Big Cat can't come back. He literally quit. No, I mean, like, I get that conceptually, but like, I think from his perspective, he would look like even more of a sissy if he doesn't go back and do it again. So I don't know. Holden B is asking about this. We've talked about this. Old episodes of KMS. It's a recurring thing that we talk to Barstool about.
Yep.
And we have been told there will be a fix.
Yeah, well, we've been told this for months.
That is another that, like, unfortunately, that one is out of our control. One of the things that I was thinking about recently was asking Kirk if we could download the old episodes and put them back up on YouTube.
Yep.
And just keep that, just so we can have our own archive.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Of those old shows, because we do get a lot of requests for it. In the past, I don't know if we've probably explained this before, there was clearly a cap on the amount of episodes that could be on the feed.
Yep.
And they would keep raising our cap. This goes back like early when I first was here, and they would raise the cap and raise the cap. Then it just, I would say within the last year, right? They stopped, they can't raise the cap anymore. And they said they were coming up with a separate fix. Did I describe that right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the answer. I tell people when anybody reaches out to me about that, that's what I tell them there.
But there are some, this is for like Apple and Spotify. There are some like other podcasting platforms where you can go back all the way back.
That's like, you gotta, no, but we need like an answer for people.
I agree. But what I'm saying is that there is like a solution if people are craving something like it is.
And realistically, I would like to go back and like put them on YouTube because, I mean, we don't know when that Barstool fix is coming. They told us a while ago that it should be soon.
Yep.
And that was a while ago. So, I mean, you know, so we should figure that. Okay. What else was I going to get to after that?
You see they announced the start of the dozen.
Yes.
Starts up.
Yes.
So the interesting thing I thought about when I saw that,
Kirk still doesn't have a team, right?
So I'm not sure. They haven't announced how they're doing it. How they're doing the new teams. So the teams that are in it now are the top teams of last year. So they got to keep their teams. But there was also talk of like a possible draft, and like if you were in the playoffs, you like get a keep as a captain, and then there's like because last year they had like a play-in tournament to make in. So I'm curious to see who comes out of that and what happens with Kirk's team, because obviously we know, like, I think one of the first things Kirk said when he was eliminated last year was like, well, obviously this team is done. Like, this team can't come back as it is now. So I think that's Kirk saying that Hank and Rico are both off of the team of Team Minifan. And I'm curious to see who fills that spot. I know there was like some hinting at like maybe Frank and Frankettes, like KB and Nick together with but I don't know.
That's what Confused Duck just said. Kirk and the Kirkettes.
Yeah. So I think that would be great. Because
we talked about it a little bit on the show. Who's a free agent right now that could potentially be paired up with?
Because we don't know the teams yet.
Right. Well, if they're all staying, if they're not staying
I think
together.
it's like these 4, and then there's like everyone on that's not a captain.
Are KB and Nick doing in that Super Bowl? Are they going to the Super Bowl one?
No,
they're hosting the intermission show.
No, yeah.
The
Super Bowl one is Ziti, Portnoy, Eddie, Clem.
Yep.
The experts, Fran, PFT, and what can't I think of? Brennan Walker. And then Big Cat's the Yak with Che and Roan.
Yep.
And
Christopher saying he wants Gruden with Kirk. Adam is saying Smokes, and then he doesn't. It seems like he doesn't really care who's the third one.
Smokes, I think would be a good one because he's more of like the contemporary. Like you got to think like when people say like I want Clemmer, like Clemmer would be the worst teammate for Kirk because they both know the same.
Yeah, correct.
Like Clemmer Clemmer's good at the dozen, but he's not as good as Kirk at the dozen. So anything Clemmer would know, 90% chance Kirk would
also know. Like Clemmer's supposed to be like completely dialed in on all the baseball stuff. And didn't Kirk just beat him in that dozen video the other day?
Yeah. So like anything like if it's 90s baseball or like 80s baseball, like you have that covered. You don't need Clemmer for it. If it's 90s Oscars or Oscars at all, you don't need a Clemmer. You need like a young guy who like knows sports, knows music mostly, knows like contemporary stuff.
Yep.
That Kirk doesn't, because I think Kirk says like anything past like the year 2000, he's just like,
right.
This isn't for me.
Yeah, no, you're right. Carl agrees. He needs a pop culture person. So we'll see how that all shakes out. So, all right, other stuff I want to get into. Did you watch Kane last night at all? Kane says we have no chemistry on this thing. I completely disagree. I think the producer show has top-notch chemistry, if you ask me.
Chemistry's good.
Chemistry's fantastic. The other thing that I thought was just funny, what he said, he was saying last night, I think it was the network's Twitter account referred to his show as like KKK something. And he was like, I don't care if you talk about my family, my kids, my girlfriend, my whatever. Just don't associate me with Nazis in any capacity. Like just probably a throwaway tweet that was just
it is wild to be
so
like,
meaningless.
Don't go after my kids.
Yeah, whatever you want to say about my kids, that's fine. Just don't call my show the KKK show, whatever, the Kane's Kitchen show or whatever it was. So yeah, that was on the network last night. I kept getting tagged in that stupid fucking Mr. Beast thing.
Yeah, you look like Mr. Beast.
I've seen it. I get the Mr. Beast thing all the time. I'm actually, once I saw it last night that like it was a lot, that was the first time that like a lot of people on Twitter have done it. I've got it at like Dunkin' Donuts before or whatever.
You got people go like, do people think you're Mr. Beast or do they just say you look like Mr. Beast?
I look like Mr. Beast. I've said this before. I've said it, yeah, at the drive-thrus. They're like, do you know you really look like Mr. Beast or whatever? But my kids are into Mr. Beast videos now. Like they're obsessed. Today, I think is a new episode. They're obsessed with that game show he has right now.
Oh, the Beast Games?
Beast Games or whatever. Yeah,
I haven't watched that. I do like his content. I think it's very.
Beast Games isn't bad. It's not bad, at least in terms of like I'm watching. It's the only thing I like from a kid show perspective that I can watch with my kids, like instead of stupid cartoons that I don't care about. But
well, some cartoons are pretty cool.
Some are cool. But he had this video once, and it was like all these Mr. Beast lookalikes in his video. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like somebody had to point it out. I wonder if I was in that group with other Mr. Beast lookalikes, if I would look more like Mr. Beast than those other lookalikes. That's my real question.
Maybe.
You know, because I can, obviously I look like him, but there are some, I mean, he's like a soft 7. I'm a 9.5, as everybody knows. So I think people can catch up on that quick, but I'd like to see the comparison to other people. So Justin liking Mr. Beast is so pathetic. No, it's not.
He's the
most pathetic at all.
He's the most watched content person in the world.
And also, like, how much does he invest in every fucking video that he does? Like, I feel like you just have to watch because I think he pours like millions into every fucking video.
Yeah, I mean they're entertaining. I've seen like some backstory things that some of them are a little fake.
Yeah.
When he's like 100 days in solitary confinement for 250, like actually like 30 days.
Speaking of fake, you mean like making an offer to buy TikTok when you know that's never gonna fucking happen?
And also like making an offer when the whole thing is like they don't want to sell.
Correct. Yeah.
That's why.
And don't they know that Trump is gonna save it?
Well,
so if it goes away, though, Trump, as soon as Trump gets in office, I mean, he said he was going to bring it back. I mean, I forget the wording, and maybe there'd be some hurdles to that.
But it is funny because he was the one who originally talked about banning it.
Right. Well, because China's stealing our data.
Yes.
Is basically it. But I don't know.
Also influencing.
And now it seems like everybody's going to this other Chinese app that's probably like way more. I mean, I don't know. It's probably just as harmful. What's it called? Like Red Note or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's another one. Red something that I see.
Red Tube. Everyone's hopping over to RedTube.
RedTube. There you go. All right. Any other random things that came up that you think about?
Random things I've seen.
I got rid of my Tele, by the way.
Oh, yes.
That was my video last night. I got rid of my Tele. Everybody who gave me shit about that, which is basically...
Did you have to pay for the shipping or anything?
Nope, didn't have to pay for anything.
Did you ever take it out of the box?
Never took it out of the box. It was basically I got shamed on the show and then I returned it.
Well, because imagine like...
Well, I didn't do I just did not do my research on the offering. Yeah. Like, I do not care. I know other people, like, kind of... They didn't really make a huge issue out of it, but it just has a display ad in the bottom of that additional...
Yep.
Right? That doesn't bother me. Like, I don't give a shit. I kind of thought it was cool to also have, like, a ticker... with whether it be news headlines or sports headlines. I don't know how it would have been used. I've never seen it. I've never turned it on to actually know what it would have been like or whatever. But I felt like that wouldn't have bothered me. It was when I started realizing like, oh, it is fucking crazy that I have to potentially watch a certain amount of TV every day and like commit to it.
It's like coming home and you're tired and you just get a notification like, hey, you still owe us 3 hours of TV. And
correct.
Like,
and in today's world, like it's not the world of like you have one TV in your family room anymore.
Totally, yes.
So like my wife could be watching, I don't fucking know, like something random, and I could be on my phone watching something else. So like I'm not, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like all these rules.
You ever see that Black Mirror episode? It's called like 10 million credits, where like this guy's in a room and like this girl he likes like joins some porn site and he tries to look away, but he doesn't have enough credits to skip the ads. So like they make him like watch it.
Yep.
You ever watch Black?
I haven't watched it, but
you ever watch Black Mirror?
No, but I've heard it's very good.
Black Mirror is a decent show. There's a couple like if I just explain a couple of the episodes, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yes.
There's an episode where
is that a BBC show?
No, it was. It is some sort of British show, but it wasn't a BBC show. The first episode's weird. It can turn you off. Like the Princess of England gets captured, and pretty much the ransom is that the Prime Minister has to fuck a pig. Oh. Like on live stream.
Okay.
Or else like he'll like
first episode of every show is weird. So you just battle through.
They don't, for the most part, they have nothing to do with each other. But there's some really good ones.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, my problem was the data. And then people kind of scare. I mean, I have a camera on my laptop, but don't they always tell you to like put tape over your camera on your laptop?
But if they are telling you to do that, should you listen to them?
That's a good question. So yeah, the show basically just it opened my eyes.
That's actually a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, it is.
A kid jacks off to porn, and then it's actually kiddie porn.
Okay.
And then this guy has him do all these like crazy tasks to not release it to the world.
Okay.
And then it ends up killing someone. And
oh no, is Dave gaining weight again? I hope not. It's got to be the camera angle. I'm leaning back in these awful chairs, so it's got to be the.
You know why? It's because I'm so fucking svelte now.
You are
so fucking skinny.
Did you weigh yourself before you started this whole thing?
Yes.
So you're on the journey.
Yep.
Tracking calories, keeping all that shit. I told you about that. Through Barstool, we get access.
I'm not going to track calories. I'm just going to eat the Factor stuff. I mean, because I'm.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need to. But you definitely need to find your in between healthy snack that you can be happy with.
I like hot and sour soup.
What about like Greek yogurt or something like that?
I don't think
it's filling and it's just like.
I actually think hot and sour soup is healthier than Greek yogurt.
Is that true?
Yeah, hot and sour soup is very healthy.
I don't eat either of those. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it.
Last thing I've seen. Have you seen these fucking like Senate confirmation hearings going on?
Yeah, a little bit. I saw the Hegseth one.
I don't understand. People are like, so it's pretty much like you get your dick sucked for an hour and then you get your ass kicked for an hour. Like the Republican will come up and be like, how many push-ups do you do a day? And he's like, I do 5 sets of 47 for President Trump. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? And then like Elizabeth Warren will come up and be like, did you rape this girl 10 years ago? And he's like, and he'll be like, no. And then it'll be taken out of context and they'll be like, wow, he said he doesn't care about rape.
Yes.
Or something like that. I just don't understand like what the point, like they're going to get confirmed, right? Because the Senate is a majority.
Correct. I assume they're all going to get confirmed unless there was like something outlandish. Like I was watching a little bit of the highlights of that Pam Bondi, the attorney general there. And like, that was my thing is at least with Hegseth, his answers weren't always like, I didn't watch all of it, so maybe I'm wrong if you guys in the chat watched most of it or whatever, but like his answers didn't always go back to Trump. He kept it on the military and his like viewpoint on what it should be. So to me, I thought like, okay, that makes sense. All your answers, like, fine, you should get, confirmed. Like Pam Bondi came in and it felt like everything she responded to was like, that's what's wrong with America, since Trump came. Like she brought everything back to Trump. Yep. And obviously like 50% of the people like that. 50% don't, but I just felt like that I just didn't want to hear it like that. She could be qualified. She's probably, I don't know, maybe she's perfect for it. But I was like, just tell why you are, like, what your personal opinion is. You don't always need to bring it back into like the Trump, you know what I mean, talking points. That's all.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird how like Hegsworth is like answering
Hegseth
or whatever. Yeah. Is answering questions like, yeah, this is how many push-ups I do.
Why do these people want to do it? Like, why? Like Hegseth, I think they said made, I don't know, like $2 to $3 million. So he probably made like $1.5 million a year, or maybe upward, maybe $2 million a year doing Fox. Like,
I think you would want this job in order to get to Fox,
and he's already there, or to do more speaking engagements. So yes, power is great, right? Like having that type of power, and you certainly get benefits out of it.
There are certain people that want it. There are some people that would just say, "Fuck that, I don't want that."
If I were him, I would think he was in a pretty good position. But
I guess maybe afterwards.
He had a job just opened up. He's not like a news anchor, but they just did a new. Will Kane just took like the 4:00 hour on Fox News. I'm not saying maybe he could be a host, but either way. So good point, Dave. Sad to see these political hearings so political. You know what I mean? Like, I just think they have a job to do. They're being confirmed for a specific job. Talk about their job and their opinion of it. Don't bring it back to kind of like writing almost like a Breitbart column or some fucking shit like that. I don't know. I thought Hegseth was fine though. And Hegseth is a pure Trump guy, and he was fine. So, but I only saw portions of the Bondi thing, but every answer she brought back to him. So, all right, that's pretty much it.
Is that toilet still broken?
No, I called.
Dave just clogged the fucking shit out of the toilet.
First of all, that's completely inaccurate, because if the toilet was clogged, which nobody goes number 2 here, if it's clogged, it would be full, and in the water would be coming out of the toilet.
If anything, you unclog, like you.
Correct. I think. Well, first of all, I do urinate a lot, so that's just one. But all the water was flushing into the toilet, which meant there was. So I called Seta and told her, and it ran for like, it was weird to just see the water flow into it for literally 35 minutes. And then I went back and it stopped, and then I just flushed it as like a safety. Let's see what happens. It did it for 10 minutes. So I think it's like working its way back into normal. But I told one of the guys who I think one of her sons or something helps out here. I told her, you clearly got to replace the thing. It's got to be just the handle, something, because we don't have like a residential toilet. We have like a commercial toilet, so we can't.
Yeah, there's no like
what the fuck? You can't like put the top off.
Yes, there's no top to it.
Right, you can't do any of that shit. So they have to come and fix it.
If they get rid of it though, would that go in the KMS Hall of Fame?
That toilet?
There's been some
history. There's been a lot of pubes on that thing. There's been a lot of pube controversy.
I remember when I think it was Ryan Whitney came in the first time and was like, "Your guys' toilet is fucking gross," and then like they tweeted out a picture of it, and then I came in a couple weeks later to clean it. There was the guy who, if you remember, was going to eat soup out of it.
Yep.
For like a ticket to the VFW.
Crazy. That's crazy.
But then he was like, "I will not eat." Then he was going back and forth like, he will not eat the entire can. He will only eat a spoonful.
That's just crazy. Let's see. David Maron says that Dave wanted to pull a Benoit on Chase after the Nintendo Switch incident. I did not. I understand. I mean, Chase doesn't know. Chase just didn't know.
Using a Benoit as a verb.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Something.
So, yeah. All right. I'm good. You good?
I think that's it.
See ya.